One day I noticed Charlie was having difficulty picking up the ball and bowling. So after a couple of times, after watching,
ALS is such a horrible disease, and humanizing someone who's been suffering from it for such a long time, um, through the eyes of their caretaker, their sister. I think that is really commendable, and I think it's an interesting look and an interesting viewpoint, because while it's not necessarily through Charlie's eyes, it's through someone who can who can voice what she sees him struggle with every day, and how he's perceived by other people, and the struggles of taking care of him to a broader extent than I think he would be able to. Um, I think this was super informative. I think there was a lot of heart in it. I think the familial aspect is just so, it's super commendable. I think this was just a really lovely piece, a really lovely look inside their relationship, and what their lives are like.
I mean, ALS is just, it is such a heartbreaking disease. And I think that the strength that it took Charlie's family to step in and help him, and what they were doing and going on that journey with them, was just, it's beautiful, but it's also sad. So this film hit all of the emotions, and I think that the filmmakers did a great job in telling the story of Charlie, and how his family is taking care of him. And they did it with such beautiful cinematography too. I loved the bowling alley scenes. I thought that that was great.
There are bonds in this world that can never be broken, and in some ways never fully adequately described. But in the 11 minutes and 30 seconds we get to spend with Charlie and his sister here, we gain a strong sense and understanding of the depths and beauty of their connection, how they took care of one another in their journeys and gave each other's life such rich fulfillment and meaning. This is a gorgeous short film that, as you can kind of hear from the inflection of my voice, really tugs at the heartstrings.
Wow, what a patient woman. I mean, caring for somebody you love seems like it would be second nature, but I know that's got to be a struggle and a challenge no matter how much you love someone. Somebody with ALS, it's so commendable that his sister did this. She became a nurse for him at 48. I mean, that's amazing. It's just such a touching story. And she wrote that I'm really lucky, or she said, I'm really lucky to have him. So just a beautiful soul, these people. And as far as camera work, I really love the shot with the train tracks. Just that stood out to me. And I just think that everything was a really good pace.
I loved hearing from her and hearing her thoughts on the whole situation, and how she saw her role as caregiver as the biggest blessing to her life, giving her a purpose to help her brother, and just seeing how much she really believed in her purpose, and in how much Charlie enriched her life, even though people looking in may think that it's her that's enriching Charlie's life. Hearing from her, you really see how much this caregiving, having Charlie in her life and her home, has really enriched and blessed her as well. I appreciated the call to action at the end, and how she's urging people to see having disabled people in their lives as huge blessings. The fact that you're called to be this important person for these people with disabilities is really cool. Um, and seeing disabled people as blessings in your life and not burdens, as society a lot of times will tell you, um, was really important to hear from and see that call to action as well.
It's not for the weak. There's something very genuine and real about this story. Most importantly, it's very sad. Very sad to see Charlie in the state that he's in. But within that sadness is a lot of love and a strong bonding connection between that of a sister and her sick brother. It's so pure to see that Charlie's sister went back to nursing school just so that she can take care of him. The message is to teach people about ALS, but able to show that those who have it are special and not to give up on them. Charlie's sister said God chose them this way. I particularly like the scene where we see the memories of Charlie through the vase with his ashes, and when his sister holds his ashes, because it felt very personal and intimate, and you can feel that bond of those two siblings that will forever be there.
The only word for this is devotion. The way Charlie's sister had devoted 23 years of her life to taking care of him shows the amount of love she had for her brother. She chose to go to nursing school to take care of him herself rather than hire a nurse or take a different job so she could hire a nurse, a second job or something. She showed her true devotion as a sister, which is something a lot of siblings don't really have, but she took it on herself to take care of him. This film serves as a great tribute for him and her and the love they have for each other up until he died, and even now past it, because she's continuing to live his legacy, showing what he did in the Special Olympics and bowling and everything else. She's truly showing what life is like for him. She had such a kind heart to devote her whole life to her brother. And it's something that, like I said, a lot of people couldn't do. It takes a lot of strength and courage and devotion. It's really the only word to sum this up